the episode when I couldn't see you. Well, no, when
Yeah,
you couldn't see me, and
yeah.
like you didn't know that I was there. Like, I mean, you weren't going all in, but there was the way you had the camera, because obviously you didn't think that like I was looking at you or whatever. Like, it was just pointed directly at your crotch, and you had just like pajama bottoms on and a dressing gown, and it was just fucking. It was just like a big. It was a big sight, and with that we started
Well,
the show.
it's
So
very complimentary of you to start it off by saying it was a big sight. I
it,
mean, don't build it up too much. I can't prove it, can I? So
no,
it's
no. I
nice
mean,
of you to feed me ego, though.
it's all right, mate, for now. Until you're like disappointed in real life, when I've bigged it up, and then sometimes someone sees it and goes, "Eh,
Oh no, that's what I'm getting at. That definitely happened. Everyone's going to be disappointed.
ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. We've well, it is that time. We've started. It's truth seeking again. It's Thursday. It's 7. It's 1 minute past 7, and we were pretty much spot on time that time. Like,
Yeah, better than
given
last week anyway.
yeah, man, given us, like, that's about as good as you could expect. This week, in fact, you chose this.
Did
This is your doing, so you fucking. I feel that you're responsible for telling the people. What the fuck we
well,
talking about?
well, just like when I chose soil, I thought that there'd be loads on the topic because obviously soil's everywhere, and obviously these are believed to be everywhere. But when you look into them, there's not actually that much there in it. And obviously, I'm talking about vampires.
Yeah, yeah. Please,
You'd think,
go on.
well, you'd think that there'd be loads of information and that. Well, I mean, like information in like fucking air quotes in it. Obviously, like we can't. It's not like proper information, but still information regardless. You'd think that there'd be loads. Like werewolves, there's fucking loads. Ghosts, mate, there's loads about ghosts.
Shitloads.
But when it comes to vampires, people can't make their minds up in it.
When it comes to vampires, for the most part, the people who claim to be somewhat vampirical nowadays are just fucking melts on the internet who want attention. And they're more just like just goths, just goths who are like, do you know what? Being goth isn't quite enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to claim to be super goth, and by being super goth, what I mean by that is I claim to live this vampirical existence. I mean, I'm vegan, so I don't actually touch or consume any sort of meat or blood. But I'm going to bang on like I'm a fucking vampire, and I'm going to have a YouTube channel about it, and I'm going to have some sort of following. But it's when did vampires stop being like proper savage cunts?
Twilight.
In it, like,
I think Twilight because they covered that guy. Was he covered in diamonds or something? His skin was made of diamonds or something like that.
I never
And
saw. I obviously didn't see the films or read the books. I
oh,
mean, that's
I went
pretty.
to see the first one. My mate sold it to me. Like she said, fucking, you'll love it. It's fucking. She'd read the book. She likes this fucking werewolves and vampires, and they fight and scrap all the time. It's going to be full of CGI. It's going to be right up your street. And I was like, all right, yeah. And within about 25 minutes, I was asleep. And it's the only film I've ever fell asleep at the cinema.
Uh, going
Like,
off, going off on a
uh,
tangent a bit, but
go.
we'll come back to it. We went to see the Bob Marley documentary when it first launched at a cinema in Leeds, and my mate fell asleep, stoned to bits, obviously. So we just left him there, and we waited. We waited. I can't remember what's opposite, pretty much the cinema. But we were like stood there, and he come out about fucking half hour later. He'd been woken up by the cleaners. And it couldn't be any more stereotypical, like a 6'3", 4" black, heavily dreadlocked lad at the opening of the Marley documentary, falling asleep stoned as fuck. And like, we had to leave him. You couldn't fucking
Yeah,
wake him
yeah.
up.
It's a story for him in the future as well, isn't it? You know, if anyone's like, you
Mate,
ever see that film? It gives him something to say.
the
No, I
thing
didn't,
is
you know.
though, like he's so good at even embarrassment. He takes in his stride, like.
Oh,
He
nice.
gets embarrassed, but he just doesn't. It won't visibly faze him until like 2-3 hours later when he'll talk about it. But like at the time, he looks, even in the most precarious and embarrassing like situations, just appears cool. Like he
Oh,
just gets away with it. Whereas me, I'm like, what the fuck's going on now? See you later. If that cleaner woke me up, I'd have probably headbutted her out of shock, fight or flight, and then just ran away.
that I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I'd probably just be scuttle off, you know, out the room, just sort of shuffle away. Just try and play it off. I know that I'd try and say something funny, but I mean, I don't know what you could say, you know, like, oh, like try and pry your shoe off the floor and say, oh, this is a bit of a sticky situation, and then just walk away, like staring at the floor though, embarrassed, more embarrassed that you've made a shit joke
Yeah.
to a stranger, instead of just going, oh, I'm sorry I fell asleep in here. Just trying to act like you've got to entertain the people in an actual cinema.
Um, a quick question as to you said, and this is I've got the message somewhere. I can't be asked to fucking read it back. But you said something along the lines of, because I said why vampires, and you were like, oh, I'm doing dinosaurs for my show this week, and they're quite linked. Fucking what?
Did you not listen to me show? No, man, there's loads in that about like fucking how they'd evolved and gone to move underground. And then you've got, it ties in, I wouldn't say it ties in directly with vampires, but it ties in with vampires in the same way that like the letter B and the letter X are connected. Like you've got to go through the other 22 steps to get there, but like they do connect. You know, like one of them, they connect like one of those pictures that old women have normally in the hallways of like different coloured string with fucking, that have been pinned like a pinboard, and they've tied string around it to make like a picture.
You're right, yeah.
Kind of like that. Like there's a lot going on, but I'll summarise it in the best way I can. Otherwise, I reckon I'll just end up taking the fucking whole show to get there. But basically, the people believe that there was a war on Mars. I don't know when. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've done loads of research for today. Fucking loads of people, man. I mean, luckily they're not in charge of anything, but loads of people believe it. And that war fractured the people of Mars, the Martians. Yeah, Martians.
Yes, that's it. That is precisely
that's
right.
Literally the
that's
word.
Literally
it seemed too easy. It split them, and then apparently they came to Earth, but because Earth wasn't quite right for living on, they went underground. But they're like a reptilian race, like scaly horned reptilian race. And some people believe the ones of them that survive to this day have become vampires, but others believe that they've evolved past the point of needing an actual proper body, and they've become vampires, or the ethereal entities that some people call fourth dimensional beings and that. And it brings it all together there. But what if the actual Martians themselves were just fucking dinosaurs, and they could speak and talk, not like in like The Land That Time Forgot, or whatever that one was called, with fucking Babyfoot or something.
That's the fucking one, yeah.
Yeah, buzzing. Fucking.
Do you remember the program?
Well,
do you remember the program Dinosaurs?
It was on like, when we were kids. Scared the shit out of me, mate. That
fucking phenomenal. Those cunts must have been so hot. Like those suits looked huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, carry on.
They might have just had little people inside, you know, just like, or kids, like 3 kids stacked on top of each other, one in the middle not doing any arms or out like that, just with 2 portable little handheld battery fans, just to cool the other 2 down.
One of them's got a broom in each hand to control arms and shit, like those grippers that you pick up litter with.
No. They'd be attached to the top one's bottom of their foot, like the sole of their foot, because they'd be standing on the shoulders of the middle one. Yeah, and that's why, if you remember rightly, you know, in Dinosaurs, their arms never, like, you never see them pick something up or grab something. They've already got hold of it for the scene, and you know, just as a little, you know.
Jesus Christ! I mean, they would probably have an issue, but they didn't have opposable thumbs, which would make it an issue to pick it up to begin with. But I mean.
Oh, see, there you go, though. But that's what they want you to believe, Jimmy. They want you to believe they didn't have the opposable thumbs, but they do. Like I made the point yesterday, innit? Fucking, if you can believe that by having opposable thumbs means that we evolved from like an ape to now, and that means by having that, it meant also our vocal cords could change and all these other fucking things could happen just because we had opposable thumbs. Then why couldn't a reptilian race from Mars have come here millions or billions of years ago after some mental war to try and, like, as refugees kind of thing, or just fucking, maybe they came here on the moon and the moon was like shot off from their planet and it crashed into Earth. Maybe that's how they wiped out the actual dinosaurs, and then we're like, right, okay, we're shapeshifters, we can just become the dinosaurs.
We'll take their place for a bit and keep claiming the benefits. We'll claim their dough for a little bit longer.
And that's there we go. And then it ties in again because the aliens cuckooed the dinosaurs, and that's why scientists believe dinosaurs became birds. It's just a weird mistranslation through all the different languages over time.
They picked like two different dinosaurs. I'm like, yeah, it's these two. These. That's the mum and that's the dad, and I'll be the result. And then fucking chicken shit. Fuck that up. But now I can lay eggs and carry on. Well, I mean, I still. Where the fuck do vampires fit into all this?
I thought I'd covered this. Are you not following? No.
Well,
like they're like the sort of maybe like the progenitor race of the Martians on Earth, the new Earthlings, if you like, the first generation of them. I don't know.
But to be first generation, then surely they would. They have to feed, and obviously they feed on human blood, so there would have to be humans here first, would they not?
But there you go. There's another thing that divides the vampire crowds. Not everyone believes that vampires feed on human blood or even the blood of a fucking, I don't know, a cow. Like they can. Some believe that they can just literally just suck on the energy and the fucking negative energies of people.
No, unless these are these fucking Twilight emo vampires who don't want any gore. So vampires.
Oh no, they'll start whole wars and stuff, man. Like people blame wars like World War One and World War Two on the fucking vampiric entities because they wanted to suck the fear out of people. Like they'll cause destruction and that, but it's as if they've learned or evolved to a point where they can get energy immediately rather than having to digest the energy. Which is probably why they can shapeshift into all different animals and creatures, because realistically they don't need a stomach anymore, because a stomach and intestines is just there to digest blood into energy for the, like, you know, whatever creature it is. I fucking lost myself. Martian was we saying. They wouldn't need the
creature,
stomach and the
Martian.
intestine anymore. Yeah, they wouldn't need that anymore because they can just take in the energy directly.
I'm not a fan of this whole green energy, green technology, let's not use fucking finite materials way of vampiricism. It sounds very 21st century, and I like my vampires to, much like we absolutely obliterate the planet for coal, gas and oil. I like my vampires to burn fossil fuels by way of killing humans and taking blood the old way, the old red oil. I don't like this whole fucking renewable energy vampiricism. I'm not down with that. This sounds like some Elon Musk level vampire shit, and I'm not up. I like.
Don't sound like that, do we?
I like. Well, Blade had it right. Well, this was the one thing that I asked you to do this week, was because I believe you said you hadn't seen Blade.
I've seen the first one. I know I've seen the first one. I didn't think I'd seen the third one.
It is the best one.
I'm pretty sure I've not seen the second.
To be honest, right? They're all good. Trinity.
I enjoyed Trinity last night. I really enjoyed that.
It's probably the worst of the three, but it's still good.
It worked as a standalone film as well, which was quite nice.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with Trinity. Like, it's its own entity almost. I mean, it does tie into the other two, but it's fucking. You could watch it blind. Well, no, you couldn't watch it blind. But you fucking...
I mean, you could, but you wouldn't get much out of the fight scenes.
No, you'd hear Blade. Just that, basically. And an absolutely wicked soundtrack created by RZA from Wu-Tang Clan, who had a lot to do with that film and the score of it. And then obviously went on to do his own shit, which would say shit in a good way. Have you seen Man with the Iron Fist by RZA?
That's... Film? Yes, I have. Yeah, I love that, man.
Film. Fucking class film. RZA's films are fucking really... Russell Crowe plays a mint part in that as well, because he plays a proper dickhead, and he is a dickhead, so like it really works well. But back to... You've just full screened out of nowhere. Back to fucking Blade. Blade 1 had their idea... That was renewable energy, when they had blood banks. Like, their blood bank idea of just taking humans and keeping them, like, in factories and just keeping them going. It's not a fucking bad idea, because you don't have to take fresh people. You can take elderly people and just keep them going.
Yeah, artificially sort of keep them alive. UV lights, little heat rock.
Yeah, if you think it's better than milk, it's better than we do to cows. Like, we keep cows fucked to get milk. if you take old people that are on their last legs, or say, well, here we go, I've got a sort of conspiracy here then, because what I'm about to say delves into it. Say you release a virus that affects people that are more susceptible to illnesses. Say something like coronavirus, and you're taking out the elderly in their droves. Like, you are just one nursing home at a time, just fucking wiping them out. And those bodies don't really get seen by anyone, because if they're infected, you can't go near them. So what a great way to siphon off a load of bodies to your blood bank. And you're taking people that are like pretty much on their last legs anyway. They're not really fucking doing anything for society. They're not very productive. We're not doing any harm by getting rid of them. You just siphon them off into your blood bank. Basically, coronavirus, vampiric conspiracy to fill the blood banks.
Yeah, it makes sense, and there's a little bit more to that as well. What if the vampires they've used the 20th century and the Industrial Revolution to ruin the sky, to try and block out sunlight, but they teach us that the ozone layer is damaged, but really it's got this extra layer around it. So now they can come out in the sunlight, but they needed hardy furniture, outdoor furniture, and they needed a food source. So they've killed off all the old people, but because all the care homes are now fucking empty, that means they can get loads of wicker furniture cheaper. And they can put that outside in the cafes, and now they can go and sit outside with them tables and chairs and that.
It all stinks of piss, though.
That doesn't matter, it'll wash out because it's wicker.
Nah, you can't get the smell. Trust me, mate. From a lad who grew up in nursing homes, you can't get the smell of piss out of wicker. Few things in life that are guaranteed. I mean, death, that's one.
Pissy Wicker is another.
Basically, there was going to be a second one. I was going to do the humour rule of three, where you do one example, and then you do another example, and you end with what was going to be the punchline. And basically, halfway through the first example, I thought, I don't have a second example. And I'm glad you ended the joke for us, because we would have been here for a good 15 seconds longer while I just stared into the abyss and tried to think of something. But yeah,
it was the way you was staring. It's not really easy to make eye contact over webcam. And I was like, oh,
he's drifted.
Pissy Wicker.
He's drifted.
Yeah, now we've lost him. We've lost Jimmy. Let's get him back.
Pissy Wickers. That's going to be the name of this episode. Pissy Wickers.
That could also be a fucking t-shirt, mate. Pissy Wickers. Just a granny with her tits out, nipples dangling down to her waist. Thin, though, so you could still maybe crack one out over, or you might be able to entice, a potential partner, because you've not got like a fat granny on your shirt. You've got a thin, slender granny with big saggy knockers on.
What's wrong with thick grannies? Thick granny gang. Hashtag stand up. Fucking what? Who's this?
They can't. No, that's the problem, innit? They can't.
Mate, there's nothing fitter in life than a good cankle. Tell you that now. Oh, something you can really get your hand into. Between the ankle and shin.
Crease your, just force your fingertips into that little half-inch bit of groove of a cankle.
Somewhere you can keep your pension money to make sure it doesn't get mugged on the way home. You just tuck it in them cankles. Yeah, lads on my way used to tuck money in their socks when they were younger. There's no different. It's a safer play. In today's economy, a cankle is better than a bank account. That's what I'm saying. Fuck crypto, buy cankles.
Buy cankles. Just fucking... human trafficking again there.
Invest in cankles.
What if that's a vampire thing?
What, human trafficking? Makes a lot of sense. I like to buy meat from all over. I like to get a nice bit of Iberico ham from Spain. What's different to them? Someone over here is like, I really fancy Thai tonight. Get on the phone. Better ship one over.
Get Dodgy Derek on the phone.
Imagine their takeaways. Imagine like vampires but takeaways, and they complained, sorry, but I found this meal was cold. I wasn't satisfied. The box it came in really bad packaging. It was beaten and bruised by the time it got here.
It was fucking dead when it got here.
I won't be coming back.
And neither will you.
1.5
where
stars.
You live.
No, but it'll be mate. If you're running a takeaway that sells to vampires, my guess is you're a vampire as well. If you're someone who sells to... you've got to have some bollocks. If you run a takeaway that essentially sells humans, being a human, to vampires, knowing that, like, literally, as you've just said, the slightest bit of complaint, and that vampire's like, they're not going to write a strongly worded letter. They're just going to take your fucking arteries out and just suckle on them. Like a gerbil on one of those little water bottles.
Oh, wow. It'd be fucking...
Is that fun, that, mate? Did you have fun to that? Look like you have fun doing that.
Made me smile.
Put a big grin on his face as the result of that. Jesus Christ.
I'm simple, bro. I'm simple.
Yeah, trust me. I've got another point. Well, you carry on and then we'll come back to that simple bit. Well, I've got
I was going to say, the fucking... I don't think it would take much to believe that a person would sell another person to a vampire, because as long as you're selling people to that vampire, you're that little bit safer, albeit you're constantly now dealing with vampires and
That's
they're probably going to kill you in the end, but you get a little bit longer. And you get to get rid of all of like the people you don't like as well. You can get in touch with someone who you didn't like, back when you was a kid and be like, start, cyberbullying them. You should lose a little bit of weight. You're starting to look like you're fat nan. Little bits like that to them. And then when they start losing weight, it can be like, right, buzzing, they'll have him now. And you go and bundle him into the back of your van and sell him off to the vampires.
Don't vampires want fatter people? Surely their blood tastes better.
Maybe if it's a takeaway. No, I was thinking that,
You gotta get a bit, eat thin during the week. And then on a weekend,
I'm going to have a doner at weekend.
Have a nice American, because that American's eating fucking shitloads. Talking of simple, I got interrupted during my research today for some sort of a mental health checkup. Basically, I had a mental health evaluation, and then I had this. They've referred us to something else. They rang me today to be like, we're going to go through some forms. You're going to mark us down on a scale of 1 to 5 how you feel. Are you going to kill yourself on a scale of 1 to 5? Isn't that just a yes or no question? I'm sure that's more a fucking... There's 2 answers to that. It's not a scale thing.
It's either 1 or 5.
But as part of it, because I've got ADHD, she was like, right, I want you... it shows up a lot of the same behaviours as autism, so we're going to get you put on a waiting list to check for tests for autism. She's like, the waiting list's 3 years and there's nothing we can do about it. For fucking sound, mate, absolutely. I mean, I've done 30 years so far, not knowing and coping with it. Another 3, I mean, do I really need to do the test? I think by then
I don't get what it's going to change for you, innit? Like, exactly. I've had loads of people, probably doesn't surprise you or anyone listening, I've had a lot of people suggest I'm probably autistic. Like, even people close to me, not just like knobheads on the internet. And it's like, well, I don't think that knowing does anything. I think when you're a kid, knowing does something because it might help the teachers to help you. But like once you've really at least finished uni, it's not. What's it going to help you with? I think right with
it's if it's something you need to know, it's already serious enough that it would be diagnosed. Yeah. Because you'd need much more help. But once it gets to this point, like, yeah, what's the fucking point? But she did the same thing that pretty much every mental health professional has ever done with us, and totally undid the work of the one previous, and went, oh no, they shouldn't have given you antidepressants last time. You should have been given you should have been given ADHD meds instead, because I've never taken ADHD meds. She's like, you should be on those. They shouldn't be, antidepressants wouldn't have worked. You should have tried these instead. And then the one before that had said antidepressants will work because CBT's not working. And the one before that went, no, CBT's working because it will work because this isn't working. And we've just got a progression. It's like
it's almost like they're making it up as they go along.
It's almost like no one has a clue, and I'm the one who's like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking carry on smoking weed. Like, she asked us today, she was like, oh, do you drink? I was like, negligible. She went, do you smoke cannabis? I went, it's known. She went, does it help? Does it help with your ADHD behaviours? And I was like, fuck, it's the only thing that helps. And she just laughed on the phone and went, yeah, you're not the first person who's ever said that to us. So I've been doing this 27 years, and it's like, yeah, it's one of the only things that fucking, it's a pattern that people have gone, yeah, that fucking helps. Yeah. It's mad how many doctors immediately turned us down from even getting help years ago, just because I smoke weed. You're like, nah, it's cannabis, don't come back.
Yeah, they just put it down to that. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, how it fucking flip-flops, man.
back to fucking vampires, mate.
Ah, it's fine, man. If you want to talk, you fucking.
I don't want to talk about it. I just wanted to explain a simple bit, and then we came off on a tangent. I just thought it was funny that you got to wait 3 years to find out if you are something.
Yeah.
It's a 3 year waiting list. Isn't that what we could do for it? Like, fucking hell, I'm sure I can get on a rocket with Elon Musk sooner than that. Like,
Very good.
speaking of Elon Musk, he slides into a lot of our theories, but he's the perfect person to be. Following on from stuff like Blade and that, he's the perfect person to be the head of some sort of like vampirical like body or authority. It would also feed into your sort of theory of Martians, them being like the descendants of Martians. Because what's SpaceX? They're just trying to go back.
Obsessed with it, innit?
Just trying to go back.
Well, yeah. Well, I've listened to fucking passively, like I was playing Tropical 6 again, but like at least 6-7 hours, I'd say, of research. Oh, it's fucking awesome, mate. Like I'd say it's took me 2 months to understand how to play it, and then today I've finished 3 missions, and they're the first 3 missions I've finished in 2 months. So there's a lot going on. Or I'm not very good with
not good at
this game. No, but I enjoy it, And either way, a lot of them were suggesting that the rockets that we do send out and the satellites that we send out aren't actually just rockets to go to the space station or to have a satellite. They're rockets so that they can go to and from Mars. And they go periodically every now and then. But they just tell us that they're going to the space station or whatever. But that was all. They also believed that every space station thing was filmed, I think they said 10 years ago, but some of these videos look old. So I'd say like between 10 and 20 years ago. And they were all filmed in a swimming pool. Which isn't new to anyone listening. People have probably heard that loads of times, but it seems odd that they would have filmed. I find it hard to believe, I find that hard to believe that I'd actually say that on this show, but that I find it hard to believe that they would have filmed 10 years ago, let's say, all these different scenes for like the sake of a 5-minute news story over the next 10-15 years, that they could have filmed all that in a day, yeah, but then they would have also had to have filmed all the extra bits and make up these fake people's lives and stuff and all these things. And
you got to do too much. There are a lot of conspiracies that just they require too much precision and too much like symbiotic behavior from people, and for everyone to always have the same story and the same this, and like everything has to be perfectly aligned. Look at what we said about fucking Diana, and you were on about David Icke last week, saying that they were killed on a certain day at a certain time. And my retort was like, what if they just decided to have a day off? How would they have been killed then if they were not in that car at that time? There are loads of conspiracies undone by they rely on people being better than we are. Like, have you ever tried to organise 3 or 4 of your friends to go somewhere at the same day?
Yeah.
For regular people,
not for a long time. I don't really. I've said this before. I don't really have any mates.
It's all right, mate. Neither do I.
I've experienced people though,
trying to get. I know what them humans is. I done met them humans, but trying to get 4 regular people to do something that's completely legal, borderline, and just regular is difficult enough. Trying to get entire fucking authorities from countries and like secret services and like this and that to all have the same story and like have all this skill to put together like a conspiracy, it just doesn't fucking make sense a lot of the time. You're like, no one's that fucking reliable. Everyone drops the ball. Everyone fucks up. Like, you can't do stuff that's that precise. Basically, conspiracy theorists are putting these people on a pedestal. They're saying, "Here, these people are better than us. They're actually better than us because they can actually manage to do all this shit at once. We can't do that." Like,
what if that's down to personal experience of life for them, though? Like, I would imagine most of the conspiracy theorists and the ones that are really fucking into it and the ones that perpetuate it on the online and that, they probably only have 1 or 2 people in their lives like that they regularly talk to. So organising things for them might be a lot easier. And they might deal with people who are like them. So that's their interpretation of how everybody is. So they think it's possible.
I suppose. I think that's possibly part of it. I think the other part's like cognitive bias and just being able, like, wanting to, or being able to have an excuse for something so much to the point where it defies logic just because you believe in that thing and you back that thing. Same as religion. Conspiracy theory to a level is just another religion.
Yeah, it's definitely a dogma, isn't it? Like this, you have to believe this, and you have these rules within it. Like you
to
sort
be at
of,
certain levels, yeah, you've got to admit that you've got to buy into these certain things are now taken for truth.
Yeah, otherwise you'll never understand the next bit. It is like I think we've said it loads of times. It's like a multi-level marketing scheme.
That's exactly what it fucking is. You sell it. It exists because you sell it on to other people and they buy into it, and then you get to check out at certain points, which many conspiracy theorists do. Go on, you've got a point, so light bulbs just appeared above your head.
Fucking, what if that's where the idea of thinking outside of the box comes from? Because they were sick of selling Tupperware. They were all sat round, the big Tupperware people, Mr. and Mrs. Tupperware, whoever run that, it's got to be named after someone, hasn't it? And they're like, look, everyone's got these boxes. We've sold them these boxes that fucking last a lifetime. We need to literally think outside of the box. And then one of them went about aliens and what about the American government being just fucking mental. And they went, you might be onto something there, And then they just all fucking literally throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. Just fucking writing loads of ideas down, random words, and fucking throwing darts at it and being like, right, there we go. We're onto something here. Lizard people. We can have these people that are actually lizards, but they're not lizards. They're people, but they're not people either. They're lizards, and we can divide people on that.
And it was at that moment that Tupperware parties became the secret societies that we know of today. We don't know of because we've not been able to infiltrate one. As of yet, we are working on it. Obviously, they've been put on hold because of Corona. I can't imagine people have much fun at an outdoor Tupperware party, a socially distanced outdoor Tupperware party.
Yeah, they can be like, look at this, you've got soup in a box here, look at this, and you seal it. Like that, seal it down. Here you can throw it across the group. There you've forgotten your frisbee. Throw a box of soup, and it gets there and it's not spilt any.
Nah, Tupperware parties should be done under the shadow of darkness. 100%.
I think it's something that should be done sort of in broad daylight, so everyone can look at it and be like, oh yeah, they're only selling Tupperware, but they don't actually know that them Tupperware boxes are actually full of like interest payments and things like that, and fucking pyramid scheming tactics where they're teaching and lessons, like written down lessons inside the Tupperware where they can be like, right, you take this and then you find the most feebly minded fat old woman with cankles you can find, and you sell her these
in those
Tupperware
cankles
boxes.
You just reach in those cankles and you pull out a pension. You run like fuck.
And if she says, I'm gonna ring me grandson on you, he's fucking 6'5", you say, oh don't be doing that, fucking, and then you throw Tupperware boxes at her head until she falls to the ground. And then if you think that you've got a bit of time before her grandson gets here, go and collect the Tupperware boxes and move on to the next street and find the next cankled old woman.
You're wasting a lot of Tupperware.
No, it's reusable, isn't it?
Yeah, but you got to then go and you go and recollect your ammo after you've thrown it at her.
Yeah, but it's a good advert for the rest of the street when you come back later in the week. She's in hospital, she's been hit round the head with a box of soup, and then you can come back to the rest of the street and be like, do you see what happened out here the other day?
A box of soup sounds so wrong.
Well, you can have a box of wine. It's only like a step up, innit?
There's not much better about a box of wine either. Philip Schofield has a line of box of wines.
Was it?
Saw them in an advert this week. Most celebrities, if they try and get in the wine business, sell bottles. Philip Schofield knows his market. He knows the people who like Philip Schofield. They're the fucking Huns of the internet. They're the love of Huns people. And they're like, do you know what, Phil? We don't buy our wine in bottles. Bottles are a waste. What we buy is in 2.5 litre boxes at a time. 2 for £49.98, I think. Philip Schofield wine. We are actually, this episode is sponsored by Philip Schofield wine.
I tried to spread a rumour years ago on the internet that he died, just for a laugh.
Did you? Murray Walker died the week. Murray Walker, who used to narrate the Formula One, he narrate. No, he used to commentate in the Formula One. He didn't narrate the Formula One.
Into his car. He looks around gleefully with excitement at his competitors.
They waited at the lights. It was tense. Fernando Alonso had a semi.
I was about to say 4 of them had a semi.
Yeah, Murray Walker died at the weekend, and he's one of those people that I thought had been dead for fucking years, you know. Like, I thought Murray Walker died around the 2005 mark. When he died, I was like, I feel that I've missed 15 years of Murray Walker. What the fuck's he been up to in the time that I thought he's been dead? I wonder if he's been getting up to some shit.
Into the subway with that guy from Smart, just linking arms together.
Mark Spade. Yeah, he just loved trains. He just really liked trains. Mark Spade loved looking like Johnny Bravo and trains. I always thought he was Johnny Bravo when I was a child.
Really?
Yeah, well, I thought he based himself on Johnny Bravo because I mean, fucking look at the bloke. Then his drug issues later in life obviously explained his freakish looks, but can't fault that guy for his love of trains. Vampires, back to him. Blade. I'm stand by this. Blade is, as far as vampire media goes, the finest. And I've heard they're bringing it back, and it's not going to be Wesley Snipes who plays Blade, which is a fucking travesty. But why?
He's an old man though now, isn't he? Like, it'd be a weird Blade, like this immortal guy.
Yeah, but nah.
Who's suddenly 30 years older or so.
Think about it, like, nah, because he got he got the serum, didn't he? So, like, I'm sure it turned him back to human or something like that. Or
at the end of Trinity, the main, like, the guy that's Dracula or whatever he's called, Vlad, fucking says, "Oh, you're now the immortal. I'll pass this on to you." So
well, still, Blade should always be Blade, and Blade is Wesley Snipes. And he could do it as him being older. That's fine. Hollywood's done it before. That's cool, but why the fuck wasn't Blade featured in the whole Marvel Universe crack? That would have actually possibly made us... I'm not going to say would have. It possibly would have made us tune into the Marvel series.
I think he should have been a part of the Defenders story with fucking Daredevil and that. Definitely.
Yeah, but and he would have fitted in with Deadpool as well. Like, with that sort of humour. Those two together, and if you listen out there, Marvel Universe people, I mean, you're a bunch of fucking Hollywood nonsense for a start. Don't think we don't know that you have all those secret parties with the young children. I've seen an open secret, you horrible little dirty cunts. But if you are listening, which we can guarantee you're not, Deadpool and Blade, come on, or Deadpool.
We'll even write it for you.
Deadpool versus. Give me.
That'd be a fucking hell of a sword fight.
Give me an eighth of beak and a weekend, and I will write Deadpool versus Blade. Like Superman versus Batman, I'll write Deadpool versus Blade. I'll have it on your desk by Monday morning, and I'm only asking for what, $1 million? One?
I'd do it for half. Do
you know what?
That's a fucking way to start off a career, mate.
And they pay for the eighth of sniff that I'd need to write it in the weekend. I mean, I'm not paying for that. They cover the cost of that, and probably the rehab that would follow to stop his sniffing, and then you've got your film. But it would be fucking class though. Deadpool versus Blade. Somehow Deadpool's got a fucking... He thinks that they have a confusion. They're going for the same person. Deadpool hits Blade and Blade's like, well, I'm fucking immortal. And then Deadpool's like, well, I'm fucking immortal. And then they fight each other because the person that they're both after is playing them against each other. And then in the end, once they've beaten each other up and they realise, right, we're both immortal. We've tried to kill each other in 425 different ways throughout the course of a 90-minute film. We can't do it.
You could even have like a little counter in the bottom corner, like
of course I'd have a counter in the bottom corner.
It's counting how many times they've killed each other.
I've written this film on fucking cocaine, mate. Of course I've got... Not only have I got a counter in the corner, like the gunshots are all huge explosions coming out the muzzles.
Like, and you could have a little Japanese man watching it in the corner of the screen all the way through,
doing reactions. He doesn't just very, very expressive facial expressions and hand reactions. Like, but you can't hear anything from him. You just see him.
Yeah, and then at the end, like the he's the end of credits scene. Like, after the credits.
No, he is fucking Kaiser Soze. It's been him all along. It's been the little Japanese fellow in the corner doing the hand gestures. He's been the kingpin all along, and no one's known. And then at the end, like as Deadpool and Blade are both lying in, like, I don't know, possibly a crater from a nuclear bomb that's gone off that they've just caused. They're both lying there, covered in dust, on their backs, just like, broken. Not dead, because they're both immortal. And then little Japanese guy in the corner just looks at the camera and just like, he just taps his nose, points at the screen, and then he flashes his little vampire tooth, and then poof, credits come down.
And everyone watching it is like, what the fuck was this guy? Was this guy on drugs when he wrote this?
And I would stand at the front and go, yes. Yes,
No,
I
yeah,
was.
just you just come on at the end halfway through the credits and go, yeah, it's off my face, mate. Fucked. And then you just carry on walking to the other side of the credits.
The credits are just me, the filming team, and then whoever I got the sniff off. Like, or they get the rest of the credits.
Wesley Snipes' name, Ryan Reynolds' name, but they're all spelt wrong repeatedly.
No, my spelling is extreme. Even when fucked, I can spell. In fact, I put more effort in because I wouldn't want someone to like think that I was fucked. So I'm like, ye old English, how darest thou? How doeth thou this evening? Like speaking in a language I would never talk usually at all. Brilliant words, no use of slang or anything. If I ever talk to you like extremely properly, just know that inside my brain is fucking melting.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
Back to Blade. Go on.
Yeah, well, I was going to take it back to vampires. Did you know that historically speaking, there has been one so-called real vampire attack that has gone down as a vampiric attack?
Where?
In history books. The Philippines.
Ooh.
It was a CIA operation.
What?
The leader of the CIA, the leader of the CIA found this. I think he said he spent a year and a half with him and his team studying the. Oh fuck it! I'm sure it was the Philippines. Where's Saul? SAOL. SAOL. SOAL is. I can't remember what country it was because it went on about a few countries because it compared.
I thought you meant Seoul,
in
which case that's
there.
South of Korea, but I'm guessing it's not there.
No, not Korea. It was a fucking island nation anyway, like fucking collection of because it was discussing the different folklore around there. Right. And this guy, him and his team, fucking spent like a year and a half studying it all, and then against the fucking they were called the Hook, but it was spelt like Hawk. I think something along those lines. Anyway, they had this belief that if a body wasn't properly buried, its spirit would wander, and that was the name of the fucking Operation Wandering Spirit.
Right.
So if people want to Google it, or you want to Google it there to make sure I'm not just making it up, fucking they studied it all and then used it all against the people there, and it was like one of the first documented psyops on foreign soil, and they would kill people kind of cleanly and then leave the body and drain the blood all over the floor and drain blood out and drain the bodies of all the blood and leave marks in the neck and stuff because they believed that.
Is this Vietnam?
It may have been Vietnam. It may have been.
Is this during the Vietnamese War?
Was the French there just beforehand?
You've got French Vietnam, so yeah.
Yeah, there'll be. Yeah, I think it was Vietnam then.
Right. Okay. Vietnam. Right. Yeah, I think. I think I'm with you now. Go on.
Well, they had their belief of the vampire is it's like a fucking shape-shifting creature like everyone else seems to believe. But where it got quite fun for me, I thought, was the way that they feed is like through this tongue that comes out of the mouth, like the jaw detaches a little and this fucking thing comes out of the mouth like an alien. That is in everything.
They use that on Blade 2.
They use it in Blade 3 as well. And this face, like the lead Dracula guy, who they dig up from underground from the ancient Sumerian ruins, he's got the face of Predator and the alien fucking tongue as well.
Yes,
like so mouth in a mouth.
That's you mentioned this earlier that that film, A Blade Trinity's got so many references to like the conspiracy world in it, and like it's something that goes throughout all three. The attention to detail they've paid in that to sort of the comic itself, but like also sort of vampiric legend and shit like that it's spot on. Like, it's really fucking spot on. But yeah, that was one of the many fucking psyops that the US Army played on the Viet Cong, because the Viet Cong have got a whole they've got a lot of their culture that revolves death is like sacred, and there's a lot of rituals and shit like that, and the Americans wanted to play on that to scare the shit out of them.
Yeah, well, it seemed to work. It
100%.
it made the group they were going against, which I'm saying is the Hawk, but I could be wrong, and they went from being like the strongest power in the area to being fucking ridiculed and hated because they couldn't deal with it, kind of thing. Like, they weren't protecting the people in the people's eyes from the demon or the vampire, so they lost all standing in the area.
What do your internet resources say? Obviously, people are going to know the standard responses for killing a vampire: stake to the heart, they don't like garlic, silver, crucifixes. I'm guessing you've probably found the crowd are divided on that as well.
Yeah and no. I didn't, honestly, today I've not heard much about how to kill them and that.
What's the garlic crack?
Don't know. I've never understood that one. I don't know if it's just a weird type of acid that maybe it reacts with fucking, oh mate, what's that skin disease that supposedly runs hereditary through our royal family?
Yes.
Polyphilia. Polymoria.
Another one you're talking about, yeah.
It's like
inbred,
a fucking...
you mean?
Right, it's like a fucking... The skin reacts weird to sunlight and makes the enzymes, I think, in your body do fucking weird shit, so it feels like your body's burning.
Mm-hmm.
What if the garlic reacts with that? So the chemicals in the garlic, I imagine there's would it be a strong acidic or strong alkaline, because it's like an onion, innit? So they're one end of a fucking pH scale or away from fucking neutral. So
does that? Well, that means sort of means they're a little bit in line with dogs, because dogs can't have any sort of onion, garlic, or anything like that. So
well, what if dogs are vampires and that's why they're in our houses? It's a weird, insidious invasion. Make us love them. Just like Twilight made people really like vampires and think vampires were attractive and not, and oh, lovely and oh, isn't he nice, isn't he sweet? Look at him run up that tree. And you can think that with a dog as well, when you watch your dog run up a tree after a squirrel. Oh, look at him, isn't he nice? Look at him playing with that squirrel, running up that tree. Oh, look at him, he's ripped that squirrel apart, isn't he lovely? He's got two of them squirrels now.
The problem with that is, like, my dog has, like, I had a Doberman years ago, and that dog had fucking, like, one of the strongest dogs I've ever fucking encountered in my life. Ridiculously powerful dog, ridiculously powerful bite. The dog I've got now, it's like a Staffy cross collie. She's much smaller, but because of the way all of her muscles at her fucking head, like, her bite's so much stronger than my Doberman's was, and the most damage she's ever done is to herself. Like, that dog would be a great vampire and should be tearing people to shreds, but she's just got a heart of gold.
I can tie this into more vampire lore that I learnt then. That would tie in with the idea of the sleeper agent concept that some people seem to believe in. Some people believe that the vampires actually have like sleeper cells, and that's what like some celebrities are in that. But they also claim that's the reason why we have REM sleep, because when we're in REM sleep we can be susceptible to takeover from them, and they can make it seem like we're awake and that, but because our brain's acting in REM, so we'll just be sort of conscious but not conscious, thinking, oh, this is a dream, but I'm moving around and that feels all kind of weird and lucid. But realistically, then they've taken your mind and put it into their thing that they're using, the clone or whatever, somewhere else, and they're using that. Yeah, it could be, yeah. Maybe that's what the blood bank is, just a storage of fucking souls or whatever you would want to call it.
Very close to the Matrix, innit?
Yeah, but then again, a lot of conspiracy stuff sits close to the Matrix. What if all of it, man, is to teach us like fucking M. Night Shyamalan?
M. Night Shyamalan, na, baby, give it up, give it up, baby. Yeah, go on.
What he said in not Split, the fucking third one, whatever that was called.
I've not seen the third one. I've seen the first
fucking
two.
Incredible.
Really?
Without ruining things, without ruining any of the story. There's a point that's made in it where the idea of comic books is the way, like what fucking Samuel L. Jackson believes in the first one. The comic books are a way to teach people about the real life.
Yes.
but they had to make it in such a way that it wouldn't be accessible to every single person and everyone would want to read it. So they have to make it all fucking, well, it used to be camp, didn't it? Like superhero stuff, and then they made it
Quite a
very
bit, yeah.
sort of like patriotic and that, and so it doesn't always appeal to every group. Just in the same way superheroes don't, video games don't. Maybe they're trying to, maybe someone somewhere is trying to make like a weird rebellion against the vampires or whatever, and there's stuff in within the games or within the comic books or the films and TV shows to just fucking trigger these things in the so-called sleeper agents, or to try and deactivate that in their minds, or to make them more aware of when it's happening in the hope they might be able to stop themselves.
That's true, but what I think you're doing there is feeding into exactly what we said earlier, and we're trying to create an absolutely fantastical possibility for something that is essentially, I think the writers of Blade and The Matrix and everyone else that has done that similar sort of thing has just read the same books and seen the same films that have come before them. And because everything's a fucking, with films especially, films and like, to an extent, comics, although comics were like sort of set trends when they were first like around, they're all rehashes. They're all the artists have all seen all seen media that has come before them.
Yeah,
Like,
when it was a lot more limited as well.
Yeah,
so there's more guarantee that they're all taking from the same things.
Exactly.
Someone that doesn't seem to do that, going off the programs I've watched, his programs, Philip K. Dick, mate, that's a fucking. Did you see that on Channel 4? Fucking incredible. Some of them were very similar to other stories, but fucking good.
Well, his books are like noted as like being some of the best when it comes to sort of like dystopian shit and like that sort of literature. But yeah, like everyone's just saying the same shit. That's why the comic writers at that time were so, like, it was groundbreaking because they didn't have those influences before them. They were making that up for the first time. Look at like fucking L. Ron Hubbard. As much as people want to torture him about being the late head of Scientology, that bloke churned out so much sci-fi, and he had to literally create that. He didn't have that influence from someone else. The writers of that time were like absolutely incredible with their imagination, and what we've seen since is like writers using pastiche, which is taking bits from elements from different parts and then building your own art based upon that. And some do it really well, to the point where it's not noticeable what their influences were. But there are a lot, especially big films and like big projects, where it's blatant what came before them.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like they're building on it rather than paying homage to it or taking influence from. Sometimes it does feel like films that aren't made even by similar production companies are out build on the story of the other film because they just take it for granted. Or you're probably seeing this, so we won't have to explain X, Y, and Z of how this works, but you can just assume we'll just say, oh, it's Back to the Future rules. It's a little joke about time travel that they have in films, but all of a sudden you understand what sort of time travel universe it is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But did you know that comics used to have another purpose?
Go on.
Like, genuinely. The Superman comics helped to dismantle various, I think it was 2 different KKK organizations in, I think it was the 1920s. I think, but I might have the years wrong. They infiltrated them in a way where they started doing it as a radio broadcast, and then they'd also infiltrated the KKK, though the radio company wanted to try and take them down. I think it was the radio company. So they were using Superman in order to do that, and the Superman, instead of Superman literally fighting the KKK, he would fight an enemy called the Grand Wizard. Or the Red Dragon or something, whatever they're fucking called. He'd fight them in it, and it would literally be a big red dragon, and he would fight them, or the wizard. But instead of then having, like, for one episode, I think it was, or two episodes one after the other, but they're like 3 or 4 day gap in between. There was, instead of them going boom, pow, kablamo, they used all the fucking secret passphrases for that week for the KKK meetings. And obviously then the KKK knew that they had someone inside.
On the inside, yeah.
And they had to, I think from what I remember reading about it, they had to then dismantle. So that's like the real bad people that Superman's kind of beat, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's
but that
sort of shit I can get down with. Yeah. That sort of shit I could definitely do. I had no idea about that either. That's fucking class.
Yeah,
what about the topic of vampire hunters? Like Van Helsing being the obvious one. Also, good film. Like, actually a good film.
Yeah,
Van
it's one of the
Helsing.
only films that ITV2 play every week where you don't mind watching it at least once a year.
Yeah, like I've not. You that is absolutely spot on. And the other ones that these are the ones that are always repeated that I never watch. The Mummy, The Mummy Returns, The Scorpion King. They play the Fast and Furious a lot. Bun all of those. Those can get fucked off. There are so many films that they must just have the rights to those, and just whenever there's a gap, they just go.
We can't
fucking
afford anything. Just throw a bit of Brendan on.
Yeah, throw The Rock in some film on. Just it'll go down well. It won't.
Yeah.
It
Well,
won't.
that's it. There you go. It's either The Rock or Brendan Fraser. And I still think to this day the best Brendan Fraser film is Looney Tunes Back in Action.
I don't think I've seen it.
Have you not? Oh, mate,
I haven't seen it.
That was like a fucking like a weird introduction to, I think, to conspiracy law for kids. Some of the stuff in that, like it, I think a lot of the Looney Tunes stuff though is like where it's live action films, that and Space Jam really, but they're like an introduction to there's this idea of another world that can move around you, and there's like 2D and 3D all together and stuff, and it's maybe I looked into it far too deeply, but possibly did. But going with the storylines of it, they've got like teleporters and stuff, and
that's exactly what Space Jam did as well. Yeah. That's the same sort. However, right, Space Jam, one of my favourite films growing up. Don't watch it back.
No, I have done.
Mate, it's so terrible.
It's not though. I think you can watch it once when you've not seen it for like 15 years. No, can he bollocks? But Bugs Bunny can. Bugs Bunny, fucking flawless performance. Yeah,
it's just no.
I think it's worth it for all the references and stuff you missed as a kid. Well, so like the little Pulp Fiction little bit of it, you know, where the fucking Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd, John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah.
Who has got to be a vampire if he's fucking in? Because that bloke, like, I mean, he's getting on now, but like, he's looked the same age for years. He like Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves. He's definitely a vampire. They've looked the same age for years. Nicolas Cage. There's photos of him from like 300 years ago. Like, it's weird the ones that they pick to be vampires. You know what I mean? But I'm not.
So you can't guess them. You don't just think to yourself, oh, it's all the good actors.
You've got to have a mix.
Yeah.
You've got to have a mix. So it's otherwise it'd be very obvious. And like they've got to slide ones in. Do you know? Have you seen the Louis Theroux documentary on the Black Nationalists, Black Ultra Nationalists, or Black Ultra Zionists, or whatever?
Maybe. I think so.
Near the end, one of the leaders is going through a book of historical figures with Louis, and he's telling them which ones were black and which ones were white.
Yeah.
And he's going like Shakespeare, black man. Queen Victoria, black man, and then like it goes to one. He goes, might have been Queen Elizabeth or something. He goes, people think she's a black woman, but she's actually white. But that's it's like at the Oscars backstage. It's the Coppolas and everyone going through but like all the actors that year. He's going, Helen Mirren, vampire. Nicolas Cage, vampire. Jack Nicholson, you would have thought he was a vampire, but he's just a weird cunt. Yep, next.
He's just good at what he does, so we've kept him around for a bit. We might bite him when he gets a bit older, so we can always play them old roles like Christopher Walken has for the last 50 years.
Vampire, fucking definite vampire.
Yeah, mate.
Probably a sound one. Christopher Walken drinks his blood on the rocks. He doesn't
coagulated.
He doesn't come anywhere near any. Doesn't come near any human himself. That he's too above that. He sits by the fireplace with a pipe and a nice double of blood
bubbles.
Yeah, he's got 18-year-old Scottish blood, obviously like a whiskey. And he's just got 18-year-old Scottish blood on the rocks, and he's just drinking that with his pipe, mulling over a script that he's going to break down into sentences of 4 or 5 words that should actually be one sentence every 16 words, but it's Christopher Walken. He's definitely one. But I like to think of vampire... Do you reckon they exist at a low level? because we always
Yeah.
like to fantasize, right? When
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
talks about conspiracies, it's always, oh, they're at a high level. Reptilians are controlling the world, or you've got the Illuminati. They're in all the heads of state. You go, what about What about a species just exists on every level among us?
Yeah, that I learned a bit about that today. There was a lot of different names for the different species or races of them, but yeah, people do believe that there's like a almost hierarchical structure of different species of vampiric or reptilian species of creature that live amongst us, and some of them will be there to literally just to fill the gaps in places in order to be in the same way that the mob was supposed to have, like they would have docks and stuff, wouldn't they, where they own the dock and they'd have a few real workers in there, so they would go home and tell the wives, oh, I've been at work, but the rest of the workers in there were just on the books, or they'd turn up on the big work days, but the rest of the time they're not working in there. People
Yeah.
seem to assign a lot of that idea to vampires.
So you've got people in every sort of level. So you've basically
Yeah.
got the feelers out. So you've got the understanding on every level of society. I
Ear
like
to
that.
the ground, innit?
That's something I can buy into, because there's too many conspiracies where it's all overlords. Also, while we've been discussing, Foresight has been in the chat supplying some very informative answers to some of the questions we've asked. Garlic and
cool.
silver are both antibacterial and are good against blood infections.
Just before you carry on, that's why I think that there isn't just everything isn't just coated in silver. I think that proves that vampires exist or something like that exists. Because if you think about it, fucking like buses and stuff, rather than having like an acrylic coating on the bars, they should have a silver powder coating on them. Just powdered down silver, because it'd be antibacterial. It'd clean itself off easily. You wouldn't have to clean it. It'd be cleaner.
Yes, but people would just
Toilet
go around
door
stealing toilet door handles and bus rails.
Nah, they wouldn't know, because silver would be in everything.
Yeah,
So it
but
wouldn't be valuable.
silver's
It'd be like trying to sell seashells at the seashore.
But it is valuable.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be if it was everywhere. If it was being used like that and
It is
made
used in
into
a lot
like
of places.
an atomic level or whatever, and
You
sprayed on.
You can get silver lining in clothes, so it's antimicrobial, so you don't get so your
wash
clothes
your
don't smell. So your
Wait.
clothes don't smell. So it is in fucking a lot of things, but in very small amounts. You wouldn't be able to fucking coat a bus in it, because that would require quite a bit, and buses would become the most valuable fucking vehicles on the planet. But yeah,
Then everyone would use it, no? And then instead of having them little
They
hammers
wouldn't.
above them,
Everyone
you could
would
just have little
fucking
chisels, so everyone can
everyone
chisel a
would
little bit off.
Everyone would steal them. Every fucking tip, every scrap heap would just be, the queues for scrap heaps would just be lads who've stolen buses, and the queues are just loads of buses waiting to get
and they
scrapped.
don't get any for days.
Yeah, no one can get a bus, and then they get two come along at the same time. Fuck's sake. We got through an hour and 3 minutes without dropping a really bad one. That's not too bad. But I don't really know where we're going to go to wind up with this, mate. It's fucking vampires. I feel.
Yeah, vampires. Like, so do you think there's? I feel like I could put the questions forward then. Do you think that there was ever a figure like Dracula, not fucking literally Vlad the Impaler or whatever the fuck he was called, that nutter from Eastern Europe that went round literally fucking impaling people just to fucking be a dick?
Foresight
is
is also
in front of his mates.
Foresight has also made us aware that Vlad the Impaler's castle was up for sale recently.
Oh,
yeah, that sounds. But yeah, do I think he existed? I've not seen enough. I'll be honest, I haven't looked into enough proof to see whether he existed or not. I don't know if there's any sort of document to say that, or any sort of art of the time to say that he existed. But I mean, could a Dracula person have existed? Yeah, of course he could have. Why not? Could have just been a warmongering like mad cunt.
I mean, like immortal and that, or shapeshifting. One of them. What? Out of all of his fucking mental powers, then, which one do you reckon could be real? And the rest have just been made up to make him seem scarier.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you can, if he aged very well, and if he just stayed looking young for a long time, people would say he's immortal. If he got wounded a few times during a battle and survived, people would say he had healing powers and he could like just bring himself back together. If he I don't
They
know
didn't
if
live as long then either, did they?
if
So if he was
exactly,
rich and he had the money for it to
and if he was only
survive,
like
he could outlive generations.
he
So
lived like till 50 or 60 or something. Fucking hell, he'd have been a god. Like,
and
but
they're all dying at 18.
he bit someone in a battle once, and like they won the battle. So everyone's like, "Oh, it's how he got fucking." He takes the blood of his enemies, and that's what made us win the war. He just did it in Mike Tyson and bit some mush's ear off mid battle, just in the clinch, just and that's it. Like, so Dracula, yeah, he could have existed in the same way that Jesus could have existed, and he was just a bloke that fucking walked on some ice once, and people said he fucking walked on
I always
water.
think of that Family Guy scene on where he's doing fucking like the OK symbol with both his hands and he links them behind his head. And he goes, nah, 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 nah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm saying if Jesus exists, Dracula exists.
Ooh, that's it.
They are in my way of thinking. They have to exist in unison. They are a parallel, and much like Blade versus Deadpool, I will be getting another 8th of Sniff the weekend after, and I will be writing Jesus versus Dracula, which will be
sequel.
the
sequel to Blade versus Deadpool.
Yeah,
They should start doing that with films, man. Unrelated titles, the sequel. And then they could literally build on the stories of other films.
Just like if you've got fucking, so you've got Kong versus Godzilla coming out. You've already had Alien versus Predator. Where it's a fucking 4-way deathmatch tournament, isn't it? The winner fights fucking Alien versus Predator. Yeah. So Alien wins Alien versus Predator. Godzilla wins Godzilla versus Kong. It's fucking Alien versus Kong, bitch. Where you having this in space or on land?
Ooh, that'd be a good film series, mate.
Get the sniff in. Let's start writing fucking. Throw in some trips, and we could be onto a trilogy here.
Yeah, easily. That's a 5-parter. Fucking start a new trend, 5-part films, mate. You could get loads out of that. Each film could be one fight scene.
Amazing.
Really fucking expensive. Or really cheap because it's just like fucking Matt Damon in a weird like Michelin Man outfit as King Kong. Literally, you could just have it as the Michelin Man. The Michelin Man versus Alien.
They're both in Zorb balls. They're both in Zorb balls with their legs sticking out. And the Alien and Godzilla are in Zorb balls, and it's a fight to the death in Zorb balls.
Aliens is just deflated because he's tried to use his mouthpiece, and it's just fucking like suffocating him slowly. So Kong has the advantage, just smashing him off the ground.
I said Godzilla. Godzilla's gonna beat Kong.
I thought you said Kong. Oh, do you reckon? I think that's too easy to pick. Like Godzilla always wins everything like that in the
No. The way they've painted this is Kong is the champ, is Earth's hero in this. So Kong is gonna in the film. Kong is gonna win because Godzilla's coming down, alien, blah blah blah. But in real life, Godzilla fuck up Kong.
Yeah, because he's basically just a nuclear reactor on legs.
Also, whilst Jamiroquai Deeper Underground is playing in the background, which is some baller shit.
There's a little nod to the first Godzilla film.
Yep.
You fucking got what if that though in itself is a weird little conspiracy bit though there, because Godzilla's a massive lizard, bipedal lizard. Kong's an ape.
Whoa, we don't know if he's a bipedal. You can't say that about Godzilla. As far as I'm aware, Godzilla was asexual and reproduced with itself. He's not bipedal.
He just sees age. He doesn't see gender. He just sees age.
He just sees age, and if it's under 14, it's good enough for him.
Yeah, he doesn't like that dirty middle ground of 15 to 16. It's like no. Nothing. There's nothing in it for me.
Blurred lines.
Said Godzilla. That's what the narrator would be saying over the top. Godzilla's
the little Japanese
through,
bloke
in
the
catalogue.
The little Japanese bloke in the top corner is like, no. Yeah. Also, I mean, you're saying he, but Godzilla, as I remember, or as at least the 2001, I want to say, depiction of it is Godzilla's a female. And she's a hermaphrodite, and she reproduces with herself.
Polypharmius or something, innit? I don't remember the word for it, but yeah. It's a word I have to always look up because I always think to myself, but what if they're like Godzilla? Because then if you believe everything's like Godzilla, it's a lot easier to sort of shoehorn it into other theories.
Yep. But yeah, that's basically you misgendered Godzilla. And I don't want to be responsible for that backlash. I doubt Godzilla can use Twitter, but I bet she has an agent, and that fucking cunt can.
They'll be happy though. We've done them a favour, if anything. It's done this show a favour. It's done this station a favour. We're all over the news. Truth seeking. Godzilla, man or woman. It could be next week's episode.
Us. That'd be us versus some extremely well-read female gender studies student from Goldsmiths University on BBC News. Us both clueless as to why we're there. Lights are a bit too bright. It's sweaty in here. I shouldn't have had that joint on the fucking underground on the way down. And we are just getting roasted for calling Godzilla a bloke.
That fucking BBC programme that's on at night time.
Oh, the culture show, Question Time, or whatever it is.
Question Time, mate. Us pair, Jeremy Paxman, a fucking SJW warrior, as you say, and a Carla at the end of the table.
Oh, fantastic. I've always wanted to be... I've met a Carla, he's a lovely fella. I've always wanted to have a proper chat with him. And I reckon fair. Question Time, us being there on the pretense that we call Godzilla a bloke, is the prime time to do. So, Carla got a new album out, sounds fucking great. You called...
Beggar's Banquet, mate, was a fucking hell of an album. just constantly interrupting the woman as she speaks, just to talk about his music. She'll be talking nonsense, love. You are talking absolute nonsense. Have you listened to what we're discussing? Have you read the bottom of the screen?
Paxman's trying to give us the University Challenge verbal beatdown. We're like, Paxman, behave, mate. fucking keep it stum, lad. The grown-ups are talking. Sit down. Oxford, ding. On that note, we're gonna let Chode have his day. Right. I can hear him now. He's fucking got the Kickstarter out on his decks. He's revving his decks. I don't know why he's saying that. I'm pretty sure he does his entire show from Spotify on his phone. But Chode is about to start the Liberal Paradise. The Liberal Paradise that is Kong free. And it is Jesus. It's only Jesus free if it's also Dracula free. If Dracula exists in the Liberal Paradise, fucking damn right Jesus lives too. And I'm gonna get right on writing that film. You got any parting comments?
Vampires suck.
Fuck's sake, man.